The simulation is burning. Now, I want to be clear, I don't believe we're in a computer simulation. Simulation theory is a fake, modern religion popularized by tech bro atheists who feel more comfortable saying they are the offspring of a video game rather than a capital C creator. But allow me for a moment to use their terminology. They believe in a base reality or original reality. And from that original reality, technology progressed to the point where we can build world-sized simulations. To them, it's the inevitable pipeline from Nintendo to the Matrix. There are tech vampires in Silicon Valley building their very own matrices as we speak. But you and I are not in that sort of simulation. We are, as they say, in base reality or God's reality. The simulation that I'm talking about, the one that's gone haywire, the one that is currently burning, it's a false reality stretched across God's reality like a skin suit. It appears real, but it's engineered to control our perception. It's a filter. It's a distraction. It's a false reality. And its sole purpose is to control your actions, emotions, decisions, routine, work, diet, your votes, your jokes, your every waking moment. I believe in God's reality. I believe in objective reality, and it's been buried below this simulation. These are the engineers of the simulation. The media industrial complex, influencers, talking heads, the CIA, the FBI, universities, so-called experts, social media, big pharma, our government, foreign governments, the military industrial complex, the Five Eyes, Mossad, the Masons, you name it. It's even your crazy aunt's Facebook group that radicalized her into thinking you were a domestic terrorist because you didn't think J6 was as bad as 9/11. It's hard to even tell some of these apart today. They craft narratives to shape the false reality. It is psychological warfare. The corporate press and the bureaucrat class constantly pump out distorted stories that induce nihilism, hysteria, and obedience for war, profit, and control. The engineers of the simulation have mutilated base reality by politicizing everything. This is beyond left and right. This is much bigger. This is a much more sinister problem. And the more the simulation burns, the more we experience maximum absurdity and unbridled horror. It's digital identities outweighing physical ones. It's meme lords at the apocalypse. It's the decay of truth and widespread skepticism. It's propaganda assembly lines brought to you by artificial intelligence. It's the ghost of Kiev, or Jussie Smollett, or Thomas Matthew Crooks. It's many fake realities competing at once, and the internet can confirm or deny any particular one you choose, which makes it appear to many that if anything can be real, then nothing is real. In the week since Charlie's assassination, we've seen this accelerate. It always happens in the aftermath of a modern catastrophe. You can find the answer you're looking for anywhere on the internet. He was wearing body armor. He wasn't wearing body armor. There was one shooter. There were two shooters. Israel did it. A trans death cult did it. A palm gun did it. The camera behind him did it. The bullet came from the front. The bullet came from the back. They are flooding the zone with chaos because whoever planned this, and it was planned, they knew it would be impossible to control the narrative. So the best thing to do was to make it confusing so that nothing would make sense. They also knew the internet would explode into endless theories and that questions would be ridiculed. The chaos of the information would act just like the decoy the cops first arrested. It's meant to throw everyone off the tracks. It's designed to keep us from the truth. Thankfully, many of us see through the simulation. We know enough history to know that these brazen fear rituals tend to be complex systems. We know the CIA monitored Lee Harvey Oswald leading up to the JFK assassination. We know RFK Jr. doesn't believe Sirhan assassinated his father. We know the CIA monitored Malcolm X before he was assassinated. We know they monitored MLK. We know about MKUltra and the Pentagon's signature reduction army. Because we know these things, I continue to encourage everyone to ask questions. There's no reason to believe the official narrative. The official narrative is a symptom of the simulation. And as it burns, in its desperation, chaos and absurdity will spill out. Do not let the narrative engineers shackle you to their simulation. Do not be captured by your emotions. Do not be held hostage to your biases. But remember, the right questions are the greatest threat to the simulation. Had to get that off my chest after watching so much insanity this past week and so much infighting. The questions are good, but I just fear that people are becoming enslaved by one particular narrative, which I think is the point of the chaos right now. And I caution everyone against that as this whole thing unspools still. And, it's only been a week and already things are falling apart in terms of the official story, and the narrative is drifting everywhere it wants to. And I think that's by design. But welcome to the show. This is Inverted World Live. I am glad to be back. I am joined by Brandon. Hello, sir.
Hello, Shane. Welcome back. Great to have you back in the old casket.
Feels good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out. I am your co-host and producer for Inverted World Live, Mr. Brandon Mina. And we are happy to be back. Sorry we could not make it yesterday. There were a flurry of terrible, horrible circumstances that unfolded. Some of you probably know if you looked at social media, but everything is good now. Shane, you feeling any better, man?
I'm feeling better. I think if you go back and listen to Monday, you can hear it creeping up in my voice. There was something going on in this region.
I thought just after that monologue that you were just like really like worked up. Like it sounded like you were just getting like emotional through the monologue.
It was that too. I
kind of attributed it to that, but then the next day you were like, dude, I'm sick. I'm like, oh no.
It was definitely that. I think I'm also just like the past week has just taken its toll on everyone, and I had not been sleeping well.
Yeah.
Not at all. And the second I lie down to try to sleep, it's just spinning and spinning and
Me
spinning.
and Ian were actually talking about that when he was in here about how sleeping has just sucked lately. And I had it again like last night. I was like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm just laying there and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like I need to get up and do something, you know? Like,
yeah, it just haunted by all the things I talked about in that monologue, thinking about his family and those kids. And, I can't help but think about that when I'm with my family and my kids. And then the way the internet handles these things, the way the story kind of unspools, so many things have happened since Monday that it's just, it was like, whew. And then whatever was going on in my chest, it all just knocked me out. And then those 2 days, was it 2 days? Mm-hmm. It's been 2 days.
Yeah.
I was not myself, but I feel much better now. And it's very good to be back. Was there anything else I missed I should know about? Anything invade the room?
Nothing happened here. If that's what you're talking about, nothing happened here. We were good here. As far as I know, the grounds haven't been invaded by any more. What the hell was somebody calling it? An alien? I seen something in chat. Somebody called it like an alien.
The life form.
Freaking weasel or something like that. Yeah, whatever our security guard saw.
Oh, that thing. How could I forget that? Yeah, I mean, it's that on top of all that, we have stories about UFOs being hit by missiles. We had life on Mars, which I'm still thinking about from NASA's thing last week.
Yeah, and this is now the second story that we've encountered in the last week or 2 weeks.
Yep.
About a missile taking out a UAP.
Yeah,
rather.
Yeah, and it does. I got to say, it feels disingenuous to talk about anything else, like because this has consumed so much of everyone's thoughts, and rightfully so. But the world, it goes on, and I don't want to forget it. That's why it was very important to me to talk about it. I want to do the inverted world news, but there's so much that is just haunting me, and it's very hard to want to talk about anything else.
Yeah, it's also very important though to like get back to that, to get back to some kind of normalcy, just for sanity's sake. You know, like people right now are looking for those distractions and stuff, which is as scary as it is wanting to be distracted. It's also necessary sometimes. Just it's important to still keep your eyes open while you're trying to close them. You know.
Yep. And this is something I was talking about with my wife today. We have 3 little ones, and something we learned quite a bit during lockdowns, when we only at that point had a 4-year-old and another about to be born that summer, was as a parent, while all these catastrophes are taking place, you have to balance like being a parent. You can't just be home and wallowing and depressed and sad and paranoid. You can't give that to your kids. You have to be like, the world is beautiful. You know, they'll learn as they get older how dark and crazy it is, and you will instill in them a good foundation to confront that. But when they're that young, you just got to be a dad and a mom and give them that foundation and that love and that support. And so you're like divorcing yourself from the outside world, which is very important, and something we were talking about today amidst all of this chaos. That's
crazy, because like thinking back to like my parents and stuff when I was younger, the stuff that I found out when I got old enough for them to start telling me, oh yeah, this happened when you were this happened. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
Like, how the hell did you guys stay sane while still like making sure that I was going to school and all this other stuff? It's honestly crazy.
Which is, I won't get too political because I do want to get into UFO being hit by a missile in China. But that is one of the major problems with the left, is that they turn their kids into the death cult. You know, I remember in 2017-ish, maybe earlier, the Sunrise Movement out in California, which is like a climate alarmist cult, in my opinion. And they were telling their kids, little kids, the world is ending in 12 years. And they'd have them hold signs outside saying, I'm not going to be alive in 12 years. I'm like, that's not the way to do that. You know, you can believe the things you want. I think they're ridiculous, but maybe you shouldn't ruin your child's brain that young. That's just me, you know?
Yeah.
But they do that with everything, with the gender stuff, with
give them a chance to be a kid, you know?
Right. The constant destruction of innocence. That is how they turn into a monolith. And that is a super scary symptom of the virus in their brains. But let's turn to the news. We have new footage of a missile apparently hitting a UFO. Now, there's some discrepancies, as there always is, but this is interesting because it was just 2 weeks ago we had the UAP hearing here in this country, and they showed us that other footage of a missile hitting a UFO. So I'm like, okay, what's this about? Is this China responding? Is this some like psyop that they're conducting on us now, saying we can do this too? Or is it an alien invasion? Are the aliens coming? Are they finally coming to rescue us, Brandon? What do you think?
I think it's entirely possible it was one of them damn farm drones that we saw last week, honestly.
I am so over it. It's not farm drones. I looked more into it while I was sick. Not farm drones.
Dude, I don't know, man. It's a whole nother crazy segue of talk for the night, but I'm going to bring this up.
Let's do it.
The thing that it hits, you don't really get to identify kind of what it is. This is obviously a missile. It's obviously a surface-to-air missile, you know, following a trajectory towards a target. It even turns after it reaches a certain, what the hell is the word I'm looking for right now? Altitude.
Yep.
And dips and goes right at the target. But the target is just a white light.
Yep.
So, you know, could have been anybody. Could have been Martha Stewart. Who the hell knows?
Martha Stewart.
But we're going to check this out. So this is that. You just kind of see it to the left there. It's UAP. I'll bring it back for a second here. There's a couple of different replays in here, but this is the best one, I think. And it's not moving very fast. It, you know, almost looks like it could have just been like a helicopter or something, but it's hard to see. Obviously, a lot of the footage is grainy.
Wouldn't it be wild if there is some sort of invasion happening and all the government's like, all right, we're just going to pretend it's nothing. Just carry about your business, people. And we're going to blow this stuff up, and we'll tell you it was a stink bug.
You know, honestly, like, with all of the missiles flying around overseas and stuff, you really wouldn't be surprised if it's just like, all right, green light to missile things now, because people are used to seeing it, and now no one will be shocked that a missile was fired. Maybe it doesn't make massive international news. Who knows?
That's interesting. Well, I'll read this for you guys from the Daily Mail. A stunning explosion, as you have just seen, was captured after a missile appeared to destroy an unidentified flying object, sparking many wild theories about what was really hit. Residents in the Shandong province of China recorded a bright, slow-moving object flying close to the ground moments before it appeared to disintegrate in a brilliant flash and fall to Earth. Videos shared on Chinese social media platforms showed a red fireball seemingly being launched like a surface-to-air missile towards the object, followed by 2 loud explosions. The incident occurred on Friday, September 12th, near the cities of Weifang and Rizhao. What do you think? I said that right? Around 9 p.m.
I'm going to go for it.
Around 9 p.m. local time in China. News of the mysterious explosion spread quickly online, reaching social media platforms in the U.S., where people began to speculate that the Chinese military had either shot down a drone, a meteor, or UFO. Shooting down a meteor. That's interesting.
Yeah, hey, if it's a drone, I called it.
Yeah. And maybe it's they're worried about the video we saw the other day of that life form that was born out of that meteorite that crashed, was in South America. Like, we're not trying to have that here.
They've been afraid of less and fired missiles at those things too, I'm pretty sure.
This is true. We have shot down balloons over here.
Yeah.
We've had that caller call in and tell us all about it. No official statements from the Chinese government or military have confirmed what happened, which is why I think it was them being like, we're just going to shoot something out of the sky just to get the Americans thinking it was aliens. Seems to be fun. However, the incident happened at the same time as scheduled military exercises in the nearby Bohai Sea, where China's military announced they were practicing with live weapons. The potential missile strike came just days after a U.S. congressional hearing revealed shocking footage of a military drone's Hellfire missile appearing to bounce off a UFO. You might remember it appeared as if the missile just bounced off of it. Maybe that's why we're seeing this now. Some of those commenting on social media believed the object was a target, possibly a drone or a fake missile used in Bohai Sea exercises, and the Chinese shot it down during a test of their defense systems. Now that seems likely. Not as fun, but likely. In one angle of the explosion, viewers can see the supposed missile rise from a distant position on the other side of the horizon, quickly speed across the sky, and then angle down to strike the unknown object. While some have suggested that the target was a natural object, like a meteor, there didn't appear to be a fiery tail extending from the object that the suspected missile hit.
It wasn't moving very quickly either.
It wasn't.
I mean, meteors suggesting it's coming in, it's going to pick up speed, it's going to break through, and it's going to be kicking ass on its way to the ground. It's not going to be hanging out, gliding, interceptable by surface-to-air missile. I don't think, you guys aren't going to see something like that coming, I don't think.
If they do have missile-to-meteor technology, wouldn't we? And if we do they just let meteors hit?
Maybe that's what this is a test for.
It's their missile.
Maybe all of this is them firing on their own drones, trying to get ready and testing their systems for Atlas.
That's right. They're preparing for Atlas. Maybe they're doing something on the dark side of the moon. There's something fishy going on over there. Also, this comes out after...
Yeah, they're setting up a turret station on the dark side of the moon to catch Atlas with its pants down and its ass hanging out. That's
September 12th. If this happened September 12th, that happened before we heard that NASA locked out all of the Chinese nationals. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Remember that story we talked about where NASA banned Chinese nationals from working in NASA?
I do remember. I'm trying to figure out how that fits together in my head right now.
I don't know yet, but I'm
spinning the pieces around, but
in my mind it makes sense that this is all connected. I have no proof of any of that, but I'm just going to run with that. This is retaliation for NASA banning Chinese nationals, obviously. I mean, talking about simulation, guys. I am the authority on the truth.
I'm just spitballing here. Just spitballing here. But hey, guys, NASA kicks out these guys. They immediately fly home and shoot down the first drone they see.
Show of force. They're getting back at us.
And we wanted nothing to do with it, so we say, hey, look, you guys got to go.
Exactly. And maybe NASA is developing their own missile-to-meteor technology, and this is them flexing over there in China, being like, see, we can do it without you. We stole your technology, and now we'll beat you at it. Just like AI.
That's intense. Why only Chinese people?
Only Chinese people.
Why was an entire race of people targeted for firing?
They might know
from a company. Is NASA an equal opportunity employer? How are they working?
Not after Doge.
Oh my God.
They might know that Chinese people, might actually be aliens, and they're like, we can't have aliens in NASA. But they did hire the Nazis, so maybe it's a Nazi.
That's a pretty
Chinese thing.
serious accusation, Shane.
Look, it's out there. I'm just reading the news. This is just the Daily Mail.
I don't know about that one, man. That's
what
intense.
you want from me. That's just what I'm seeing out there on the news. What do we have next? What was the other story we had?
So we've got. So we had. There's a bit of an update in the story of the Mexican guy who found a meteorite in his backyard and had an alien grow out of it, supposedly.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into this actually. And Shane, I was showing Shane this video earlier when he popped in, and what were your thoughts on seeing what this thing has become
On the new video,
and how he was.
It reminds me of like my favorite movies from the early '90s. Like
Really?
it's not AI, so it's like some kind of like puppet. You know, it looks like it's gross. It looks like something.
I think we've both settled on this as complete bullshit. But let me. You guys let us know what you think. Let me find.
It's growing.
I had a couple of different videos here. I want to make sure I pull up the right one.
It has been growing, and I appreciate that the guy has like a narrative building. You know, like he's really gone to town to sell this, and he's got this. So he's traveling with a safe.
He's got like a small safe in the back of this like Mitsubishi that he's just cruising around, and it's not in a seatbelt or anything. It's just floating around loose in the back of the car. Now, he divulges most of the code to the safe right here on video. At least you can kind of see here. Yeah, that's 87640. I mean, I got most of it, so I know how to get in there and get this thing if anybody wants to go find this. But
what do you guys think?
It's just chilling in there. I don't know what's in the back left corner. It looks like a bar of soap or something. I don't know if he's like feeding this thing.
An octopus covered in molasses.
I don't know, but we did our usual digging for the day to see if anybody else had debunked this yet, and there is evidence that what was it, Mark? Was it Mark Christopher Lee? Yeah, expressed confidence that the alien-like creature was fake. Speaking to Daily Mail, he noted that it was fake and that one can easily create one of these on their own.
Does he say how?
He goes on to say the creature was a B-movie kind of thing using special effects. So, again, I don't know how much actual investigation was done on this guy's footage. I know we watched it, and right off the bat, I was like, I don't know about this. You know, there's a couple different ways it could have been done. You know, he dug a hole in his backyard, put some lighter fluid on it, lit it, tossed a rock in there. He comes out, oh, shit. Ay, Dios mío, you know? Pulls the rock out. He leaves it hot, you know, puts a leaf on it. The leaf, it's hot enough not to burn him, but hot enough to melt the leaf in a certain area. Yep. You know, it's a fresh leaf. Yep. Uses a fresh one instead of a dry one so it doesn't start a fire in his house, you know, that type of thing. And then, I mean, he's got like a cake dish that he's keeping this thing in, and it's just in there like pulsating and wiggling like one little thing. I mean, you could have done that with a string or something, you know.
What if it turns out to be true?
I don't understand how it hasn't been seized from this guy yet.
That's true. That's true. The bogosphere was taken immediately.
If they had any inkling whatsoever that this was an actual extraterrestrial being, not of this world, there would not. I don't think it would just be one government on him. I think it would be many. I think this guy.
This is big on TikTok, right? This is where this is initiated.
Yes.
That was some interesting news that we could say real quick. I don't know if everyone heard that TikTok was purchased recently. By some of the people we've talked about quite extensively on this show. I'm going to look it up really quick, make sure I'm telling the truth, not just making this stuff up like
attaboy.
Everything else I do. TikTok to be controlled by U.S.-led group, including Oracle, Silver Lake, and Andreessen Horowitz in proposed ideas. So
what?
Oracle, yes.
Oracle bought TikTok?
Yes. Do we remember Oracle? We pulled up the video.
I know Oracle very well. I've used Oracle in the past working with IT companies and stuff like that. Oracle has been a part of some of the system software and stuff that we use.
The first episode you ever sat in on, episode 50.
Yeah.
I went through the whole Silicon Valley thing. Mm-hmm. Oracle's got the CEO, I think he's the CEO, Larry Ellison. He's the guy who said we'll make them behave. They'll be on their best behavior, right? With the cameras everywhere. Yeah. That's the guy. So TikTok's run by him. He's the guy who's like, we'll pretend to turn the cameras off when they're in the bathroom.
Yeah, or no one can see this unless they've been subpoenaed.
Right.
But we want to have them in the bathrooms at schools. That was where I was pissed off because they were talking about basically videotaping kids.
He was like, no one will see it, but it will be filed away. Unless, like there's a subpoena.
No one will see it, but it'll be there.
really weird. So I'll just read some of this really quick because this is pretty big news, and it's Andreessen I talk a lot about too. He's the guy who wrote. I mean, he's done a lot of things, Substack, and he's friends with Elon, part of Doge. But he wrote the Techno Optimist Manifesto. Talked about that a bunch. It's in my mind, it's like the alternative version of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. So not as good. It's a much more flowery description of the future and how we can coexist with AI and how it won't destroy humanity, which I think his interpretation is wrong and self-serving considering his venture capitalist attitudes. But this says, when did this happen? On the 17th. President Trump's potential deal to avoid a TikTok ban is taking shape, with several prominent U.S. tech and investor firms set to take majority control of the China-owned app. Under the proposed, I'm sorry, I can't talk. I'm still getting over whatever was in me. I had a symbiote take over, I guess. Under the proposed terms, I'm the next thing to invade this room.
That's not funny, man.
A group including billionaire Larry Ellison's Oracle, Silver Lake, and Andreessen Horowitz would form a new entity overseeing TikTok's U.S. operations, as reported in the Wall Street Journal. The U.S. group will reportedly own a combined stake of approximately 80%, with Chinese investors holding the rest. Under the TikTok divestment law passed by Congress last year, Chinese ownership can exceed 20%. Now, look, I also don't like China. I also don't trust the CCP. I also don't like TikTok on a personal level because they've banned me so much for talking about fake clouds. I think I've had 4 or 5 accounts. I don't care. I won't be back on. It's not for me.
Yeah, I've abstained from TikTok for its entire life, thankfully for me. So
no matter who is running it, I'm not going to be using it, and I don't really like either party running it. It's just another example.
No, that's why. And Alex was sending me shorts and stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, no.
Shout out to Alex. I think she's learned to send us screenshots to TikTok.
Yeah, she's finding me stuff that actually works now that I can access without having to have a profile.
So that'll be interesting thing to monitor. Seeing those guys run it, what it's going to look like. Because the thing was, what kind of propaganda or was the Chinese algorithm boosting certain things in their algorithm? Certainly possible. We've seen X do it. We've seen X deboost things. We know what Facebook has done. So now that we have these people who are very tied into this administration, Larry Ellison was there on day 2 in Trump 2.0 for the Project Stargate hearing, announcement, rather. We know how deeply tied Andreessen is to it. So I don't trust any of these people, and I don't trust TikTok. But I'm also everything spying on you. Everything. From TikTok to X to your phone to Lockheed Martin to that wasp I destroyed.
My coffee?
Monday. Your coffee, maybe not the liquid itself, but the styrofoam might have nanotechnology in it that it's listening.
Dude.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you.
That's bullshit.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, man.
Yep.
I refuse to believe this.
I know. Well, we'll take it apart later and we'll see what's going on. But what else do we have? Was there anything else I missed? You guys saying anything out there? Oh, Threads. Dank Daddy says Threads is a very scary place. I went there once, and it was like going to a fever dream, and I never went back. I deleted it off my app. And said no.
I almost hit the button on that one, and I was like, I kind of stopped right before my finger got there, and I was like, you know what? Not today, because it tries to show you hey, Shane Cashman and real important figures, Tim Pool and Alex Stein all follow Threads, and trying to encourage you to jump into the circle. And it's just you know what? It doesn't. 3 people jumped in a damn fire. That doesn't mean it's a great idea. And
I'm not there. Why is it lying? Just maybe because I signed up once.
These are metaphorical.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Because
it would lie. It would lie.
Yeah. Complete fake right there, all made up. What I just said, but you get the point.
Don't use it. Don't use anything. Just YouTube and Rumble, right? Because they're always friendly to us. YouTube's been so bad to me, but I'm glad we have Rumble and YouTube.
They were not happy about you pulling that. Was it the Korean chick that was dancing? They were fine with her dancing in front of the military coup. They didn't like the music though. They did not enjoy that part.
That's so sad because that music is so good. It's so good, and I'm only promoting them. Like, I'm here to help them, whoever made that song.
I wonder if
song.
it's like if we start playing something and I just go, "Hey, we do not own the rights to this music," if we could just let it happen from that point,
Right.
or like if they record, or if it's just like a dead end, like, nah, we got to look into that.
It's weird because
I'll just start making disclaimers before.
I don't understand how
play
some
these videos.
big, like, there's some YouTube channels that get away with it. I mean, how does that guy with the giant head looks like the guy from Nightmare Before Christmas, Anthony Fantano, like he plays songs. Rick Beato, they're suing Rick Beato. This is total tangent we don't have to get into, but I'm only saying this because I want to go back and be able to play the Simulation is Breaking song from the Myanmar coup that happened during lockdowns. And shame on you, YouTube, for making me take that out. Very upset.
Whatever,
upset.
we handled it.
We handled it. But
We're all good.
if we've got some callers, we should start hitting up the phone lines.
We can do that.
Forgot to say that. I'm out of practice.
The
I'm out
old
of
phone
whack.
lines. Yeah, if Shane hadn't otherwise mentioned, phone lines were open. The call links are out in the chats. They are pinned at the top of the screen. And if you're not seeing it for any reason or if it glitched out, throw it in chat. I'll throw it back in there for you guys. But let's jump on. Let's go to Noel first.
Darth Tater, shout out to you. AI is the Antichrist. It's one of them.
The random join lag, I swear.
Well, it's good to see you guys in the chat. It's good to be back. Again, I want to thank Brandon and Ian for holding down the ship while I was working with this symbiote trying to get out of my system. That'd be good for the show. I'm going to make my own symbiote. I'll look up the ingredients on Yahoo.
No, you're on the show. Can you unmute?
People are saying snakes involved with that thing.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It'll be at the next state fair.
For all I know, Snake was playing Ian on the show the other night, and it just didn't tell me about it.
There is a thin line there. That's funny.
Noel, you are on Inverted World Live. Can you unmute your microphone?
Also, we hit over 60,000 subscribers in the past few days. So thank you guys so much for showing us support and love, sharing the show. That's epic. We really appreciate it.
We have a caller here.
I'm hearing like
I just heard some ambient noise in the background. Noel, are you here?
a machine is breathing.
Oh, all right.
All right, off to a good start. It's all right. We'll come back to you. We'll come back.
Just like urgent care, you have been returned to the waiting room. We will try Noel again in a little bit.
All right. While you get another call, let's see what's going on over here in the chat. For any fresh, we are all witnessing a JFK and MLK moment with what happened to Charlie. Absolutely. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe we are going through this. It is awful. But it is.
And I've seen people too that are like, oh, fuck that, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I get it. No one's suggesting the magnitude of the levels of severity of this, but these were all assassinations done on people that had a voice. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, and not to throw shade at MLK, but I think Charlie was a much better person than MLK. MLK had a lot of things in his closet, a lot of skeletons in his closet, and they did him dirty though. The FBI, you can look up the letters they sent to him, trying to convince him to take his own life, sending his own family crazy letters. The whole COINTELPRO situation. They were doing it to Malcolm X as well. But to me, these are, despite whatever flaws these people have, it doesn't matter. This is a major, major person, part of a major movement. Charlie was like the golden child of MAGA. He was extremely effective. And what you find out, if you didn't already know, through all these interviews we've been watching, is how instrumental Charlie was in the transition team with Trump and the people in his administration listening to him. And I just, some of the stuff I love the most is hearing the behind the scenes stuff on how seriously Charlie took the art of the debate. And even if he didn't agree with something, he would give people very positive, constructive criticisms on how to make their their argument better, not just being emotional about it, but really coming at it with logic. And that's a rare thing these days because everyone gets way too emotional.
All right, we're gonna bring on the Gray Horse. I believe they were in here next. Also muted. Can you unmute your mic, please?
Pure blood based berserker says this isn't Shane, it's a skinwalker.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
Sorry,
calling.
I wasn't really expecting to get picked.
All right, you got it. You're here. Welcome to the show. What's going on?
Not much. So I guess can I give you like a little introduction and then maybe you can pick maybe what you want me to talk about?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. Well, you can just call me Gray. I guess I've lived through some pretty intense things. So for 10 years, I worked inside the oldest prison in my state. It used to be an asylum, like a working asylum farm. Really, really old. I've survived some pretty bad loss and trauma, and I feel like I'm stepping into like a deeper spiritual path. Um, I'm gonna go on an ayahuasca retreat next weekend, so I guess I'm just really nervous about that. I don't know. What kind of
I
story
mean,
do you want
okay,
me to
well,
tell you?
I'm already interested in the oldest prison thing. I got something to say about all these things, but let's
Okay.
let's start with the oldest prison. Tell us what that is, what that's about.
Well, it was built in the mid 1800s. They converted it into a prison, like a working modern prison in the 80s. Actually, the year I was born. Um, So there's some of it is newer, like the housing units and stuff are newer, modern buildings. But there's buildings that are really, really old that, of course, go from the mid 1800s into like the early 1900s. I've spent a lot of time, of course, everywhere in the prison during the 10 years that I worked there. I have some pretty cool stories about that.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Um, well, I have my own story. The training building, which is where we kind of we had like uh, monthly trainings and yearly trainings. They would all stuff us in this older building. It was 2 stories, and I would say it was probably early 1900s. I went up to the bathroom. I didn't like to use the bigger public bathroom, and so I would go upstairs to the private one where nobody was, right? And went up there and went to the back bathroom, and it's real quiet and down the hallways and I hear a door slam and I'm like, oh, okay. And it was very, very loud and aggressive. And I kind of went out and looked. And, in this situation, I have to look. It's my job because if someone's up there who shouldn't be up there, right, I have to tell someone. So I go out there and I look through the entire hallway, all the rooms, and nothing. There was nothing. I had another instance where a coworker had his name whispered in his ear. I can tell you that one. Just a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, it was a place of like what I would describe as really bad energy. Like when you drove into the property, it was like instant. You didn't want to be there, and that went farther than just like it was work and it sucks, right? But um, I mean, there was just a heaviness about this place.
Did people tell you any like particular stories that happened throughout the history there that maybe some people believe like this is happening because of so and so?
Like a personal story or like a specific ghost, I would say no. The inmates, also would talk about it being haunted, though. Part of my job was putting in like work orders for broken stuff. And a lot of times in October, they would send me, toilet is haunted, and that would just be my work order, and I would just go ahead and put it in.
Say toilet
Uh,
was haunted.
yeah. Yeah,
We've all
a lot of
experienced
the
that.
guys.
Yeah. Brandon just did the shotgun. Yeah.
They had a sense of humor about it, but it was just generally known amongst staff and both offenders that it was creepy there, and there's there's definitely energy, whether it be from the older people, like the people that were in the asylum, or whether it be from, the guys that are there now. Like, obviously, that's a place where nobody back then or now wants to be. So all that negativity just in one place, right? You feel it, you feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Can't imagine. Well, that's wild. So let's talk about this ayahuasca trip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this from a place of deep care, that I have an issue with it, with ayahuasca and going down that path. And I do worry for people who do it. And I do want you, I have to say this, to just maybe rethink it. Because I've heard some things that are not the greatest. Now tell me why you think it's a good idea.
Well, that would entail me having a trauma dump a little bit, and I don't want to do
You don't
that
have to do
too
that.
much. So I'll keep it just short, okay? Um, 7 years ago, my best friend of 15 years, she just dropped dead.
Mm,
She had a heart attack and died instantly.
mm,
4 years later, and I mean that was, without me getting into it, almost impossible to survive on its own.
mhm.
And then her son, I raised him, babysat him, took him to school, helped him with homework, made his dinner since 4 years old. And he was almost 21, and he took his life in the same grief
Mm.
of his mother that I felt.
Ugh.
So, in the sense that I have been very deeply wounded by not just that, some actually really insane things have happened to me. Even before that, I probably needed a little help. But that really pushed me down a road of facing my own death for probably the last 6 years. And I don't think there's anything scary enough on ayahuasca that I'm going to see that I haven't already seen in real life. Like, I'm not scared. And I just feel very open. I'm highly aware that it could go wrong. Um, but I'm also highly aware that it could go right.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I've heard both sides of the story. I guess the things I do worry about when it comes to this is the stories where people do it and it does the opposite of trying to heal someone, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm an anxious, nervous person. I don't know if you could tell. Um, I tend to research things very heavily. I started thinking of ayahuasca about 2 years ago. I am diagnosed with compounded PTSD, among some other unfortunate things.
Mm.
Um, and I've looked at both sides, the sides where people were not happy with the things that happened to them. And I've looked at sides where people were significantly changed. Um, I guess I would be stupid if I wasn't scared, right? Um,
Yeah,
but
I haven't done that, but I'm also not one to talk because I have a long history. It's been a long time, very long time, but I used to do lots of different things. And, I wish I hadn't done those. For various reasons. There's probably some little hole in my brain from it all. But I did experiment with a lot of stuff through high school and college, and I wish I didn't. But is the kind of thing you're doing this one of those like controlled? You're going to a place and there's someone walking you through this situation.
yes, it is a retreat. I'm not going to divulge any information on it.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
no,
think that I'm supposed to.
yeah,
They say that they're legal. Um, I also worked in the courts for quite a while, so I'm questioning that.
That's why a lot
Just
of
on
these
my own.
places are in like South America and stuff like that too. Like, are you leaving the country?
I am not leaving the country. I'm
Okay.
only going about 8 hours away from home by flight. So, my best friend's also going with me. He is not going to do it.
hmm
He's extremely, for lack of a better word, protective. Uh, I told him, you're spending like, $1,500 just to babysit me for a weekend, and he's like, "That's fine. I can't let you go alone." So
Well, that's
there
a
are
good friend.
shamans. It's a
Yep.
controlled environment. It's a retreat that you pay money to go to. So, I don't I don't know if it's legal. I don't know. But
And this is what you were saying is part of your spiritual journey, or is this you have a spiritual journey happening that's parallel to this?
I would say parallel is a good description. I have done a lot of what I think is fair to say is shadow work, so taking each of these horrific, ugly things that I don't like about myself, that I don't like that happened in my life, that are sad, that are horrific, obviously, and laying them all out and being like, okay, what can I do about this one, this one, this one, and this one? And I'm just going through each one and I have to like look at each thing, even if I don't want to, even if it sucks, if it hurts, if it's ugly. But I have to do that to heal, and I face my own death. I've come to the point where I'm either going to live through this or it's going to kill me. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. So I'm going to do what I got to do.
Well, you definitely, we want you to live through this. And dealing with traumas, I mean, we're all doing it in our own way. And we all have our various experiences with trauma. And it's a very hard thing to deal with. And so I understand wanting to go out there and do it. But something, I don't know, the ayahuasca stuff, I don't know, Brandon, have you ever done anything like that? Or would you say
I
if you
haven't.
did?
I mean, I've heard lots about it. It's nothing I've ever wanted to actually go do. I haven't made it to that point, but I've been to the brink of my own death and back several times. I've lost 4 or 5 very close friends to me in the last 4 or 5 years. I lost my grandmother as well, on top of another couple of people. My dog of 16 years, all kind of happened in the flurry of about 4 years. And I know that how real that pain is, and wanting to find ways to just not live with it, even if it's for about 5 or 10 minutes, or to just find a way to come to terms with it. I say, like if you feel like it's a thing that's going to help, go for it. Just be careful. It's one of those things where stuff like this can either work real great for you or induce more psychological stress and trauma than you had before you got there. So it is kind of like rolling the dice, in my opinion. But your confidence and whatever on what you can handle as far as like hallucinogens and shit like that goes. I mean, it's really
Yeah, because I've also heard a lot of interviews, I'm interested in vets that deal with PTSD, having grown up outside of a military base, having been raised by like young soldiers when I was a kid, basically, because we were right there. And I would play football with them. And then they were only 4 years older than me. And then they'd go off to war. And I was just like at home. And a lot of them came back in, not great shape. And so I've always been interested in how they're dealing with it, what they're doing. So there's all these new articles. And there's podcasts about working with PTSD and vets through hallucinogenics, I think mostly mushrooms. And they say that can be a big help, I don't know. I'm not one to advocate for it anymore, but it's also hard to say to people if they think there's something fixing them, then try it. But the ayahuasca stuff seems like it's another level. And like the videos I've seen are just, they're wild. But at least you have a good enough friend to go with you and make sure you're safe.
Yes, yes. And I will admit, man, I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. I'm definitely rolling some dice here. I'm taking a risk.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if it wasn't kind of like the last option, right? Like that I felt in my mind. And it's not to escape, right? Because I've had to sit with this pain very sober for a very long time. I don't know if you're familiar. There was probably a Rogan podcast about it, and that's what I'm thinking of. But Ibogaine, they had a very successful, what do you call, like a test with PTSD veterans that had significant PTSD, and after about a week on Ibogaine, they all said that they like 89% or 95% said they felt significant change in their life, like it was gone.
Right.
So there are some actual healing properties to it. Like I do know that it can actually heal. I'm sorry, actually heal parts in your brain. But you're right, it is a risk. I'm trying not to be overly confident, like, oh, I worked in prison, my best friend dropped dead in front of me, and my kid's dead. I can take on anything, right?
Mm.
So no, I very much am aware of that. but I'm trying to be responsible about it. And maybe it's dumb, right? Like I see a lot of the chat saying that ayahuasca's demons, but I'm gonna pray to God too before I go and do this. So maybe it's wild to mix both things, but I'm also asking God for help with my healing too.
I would certainly continue praying. And I'm seeing the chat kind of conflicted. The ones I've seen are, yeah, there's people saying it's demons. And I think that is a tricky thing with a lot of the hallucinogenics. And I also see people saying certain hallucinogenics have helped them, have helped with depression. Someone asked, and this is an interesting question from Stacy. What are you expecting to find? Are you do you have a goal in mind after this?
Just peace, man. I do hope that I have some understanding of what I went through. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm going to see or experience. And I guess even if it's horrific, I've lived through worse, right? And I can stop thinking about it. But at this point, it feels like I'm being called to go. So I'm just gonna go, man. I'm just gonna go.
Have you ever read or heard the writer Joan Didion?
No, I'm not familiar. No, I'm
She
sorry.
wrote a book called The Year of Magical Thinking. And it's about her husband like dying. And it was just brutal. I'm trying to think how the timeline works, because I remember if she finished a book and then her daughter died, or if her daughter died while writing the book. But she did experience 2 major horrible deaths. And she talks about what grief does to the brain. And it's one of the most compelling books I've read about grief. It came out around the time I lost a lot of people in a very short amount of time. Way after I was doing anything. I was completely sober then, and I didn't know what to do with all that. And this is before I was a believer in Christ, and I was just like totally in the oblivion. And that book became a bit of an anchor. But I will say, for those who are in grief and trying to figure it out, it's like it's kind of like exposure therapy. So it can be a lot. Because my wife, we were not married yet. We were just dating at that point. But she'd also lost some people at the same time. It was very strange season for us. And it was a little too much for her. I'm the one who likes to really confront the darkness, and I will lean into it because I think exposure therapy works for me. Not really exposure therapy, but just like diving into this and figuring it out. But I don't know.
It
Maybe
does
look
for
up,
me too, man.
Maybe
Yeah.
look up that book, The Year of Magical Thinking. It's been a while since I read it, so I wonder how I would feel about it today, because it's been probably over 10 years, and I've changed a lot in 10 years. But I remember at the time, it was pretty eye-opening, and it was nice to. She's a great writer, and she did a lot of really interesting stuff in the 60s, and kind of took the temperature of how crazy and paranoid America was in the 60s and 70s. Wrote about music and culture and crime, crazy stuff. But that book is really something else. So maybe check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the list. I will definitely do that. Thank you for the recommendation. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I just wanna, be human with you and tell you how sorry I am that you understand the grief I'm talking about. And anybody in chat too who understands this grief, I'm so sorry.
Thank you for that. And we're sorry that you're dealing with that too. And I'm praying for you. And please do call us back and keep us posted.
I will. Thank you for this time, and I'll call you back when I get back, right? When
All
I get
right.
back from the other side.
All right. All right. We'll be praying for you.
Thank you so much.
Have a
Take
good
care of
night.
yourself.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah. Some of those videos are pretty tough, I don't encourage it.
See, I couldn't. I'd have a fucking panic attack. I couldn't do it. We're talking about dosing basically with DMT, and also with it's an enzyme inhibitor that's in it that basically blocks the breakdown of DMT so that it's able to reach your nervous system more efficiently and stay active. You're talking about basically the only other psychological spiritual journey that I would say tops this is taking peyote in the desert. This is this is some serious shit. Not to mention that it's being led mostly by shamans, which we all know are into some dark shit. Let's not waterboard that any more than it needs to be. But you know, they're leading groups of people around a campfire on these crazy DMT trips.
Yeah.
And blocking the inhibitor that breaks that down so that these trips are more intense and last longer and all of that stuff. And these you know, sabbaticals or whatever you want to call them can go on for, you know, 1 day, 3 days.
It's long. It's really long.
Upwards of a week. It depends. Like some of these people are just there and they're just high out of their minds for 5 days.
Is the trip that long?
Well, I'm assuming that it can be if they keep inducing you with the same damn drugs.
Wow.
You know, I don't know what the turnaround sobriety is for these types of things. I don't know what the come down rate is. I don't even know how strong this shit is, but I'm assuming it's pretty damn strong from, you know, everything that I've read about it.
Oh yeah.
So
it's very strong.
It seems like it would be like a huge, you know, kick in the tits. But I mean, some people want that like lobotomized feeling for a little bit. They want to just be completely out of it, you know, and not understand what's going on and then come back to it. And I mean, I can't see that come down being that great, you know. 4 or 5 days you wake up and you're back to the same damn reality.
Right.
You know,
I forget what comedian told Rogan that it was good for him. Was it the dude from SNL?
I mean, everyone's got their own thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And I shout out to Tim Neal. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I've done psychedelics for both fun and exploration of consciousness, I think. Former Governor Rick Perry has seen the benefits now. He advocates the use of Ibogaine treatment for veterans cases of PTSD here in Texas. Yeah, that was that Rogan interview, I believe she was referencing. So I've seen that.
You know, there's a good percentage of our call-ins that are all people that just said fucking got really high and then had some wild ass experience happen, and then they're calling us about it like, man, this was crazy. I don't know what it was. Was it demons? I don't know. I don't know any more than you do. You're the one who took the drugs. So
well, let's get to it.
All right, let's jump back on the phones. I want to go to Heretic Psychoanalyst. Yes, Heretic Psychoanalyst. That's correct. Yes, gentlemen, that's correct.
Hey, how's it going? Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
We can. How you doing?
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me on again. And I hope you're looking into that soul murder that I had recommended for y'all last week.
I have not looked into that yet. I do have that in my notes, but I will be getting there at some point.
Yeah.
What's new?
So I wasn't looking to share this story, but with the caller, I had to call in to talk about the ayahuasca and a client that I had that dealt with it. So quick story, the client, she's a Persian woman and she was severely abused over in her country. I think she told me she called them 4 desert abortions over there. Right? So she made it to the United States when she was in her 20s and high functioning, like severely high functioning woman. She went and did 3 ayahuasca trips, 2 in like Arizona and 1 in Brazil, I think it's Brazil, I forget where in South America, where she got worse because she wasn't doing well because of her life, which made sense. And then I met her post her having an experience of an alien abduction when she was over there in Arizona, where she was actually taken. So I don't know what kind that is, 4th or 5th. I forget, she talked about it, but I'm like bad with those details. 2 things. The ayahuasca, she was also Muslim, and she's no longer Muslim. So there's like a quick background of a lot of important details missing. With the ayahuasca, she became worse, where she eventually said that there's no such thing as aliens. I was demon possessed, and why can't aliens have maybe spaceships and take me away, or take me away in some ethereal kind of way, the way that she experienced it? Because she was beaten again. It's almost as if she had the same markings she did when she was a kid, which really terrified her and put her like on the limbs of suicide for that. The ayahuasca did not help her at all. It made her a lot worse. Like, it just terrified me when the former caller talked about it, because it's like, I work with people with trauma all the time, and as a psychoanalyst, we can do but so much, and I'll send people to EMDR. Sometimes that's much more helpful than sitting and talking about things. Just some shit's an emergency. Psychoanalysis is not for emergencies, not like that kind of emergency. But it's just a warning of how dangerous that is. I mean, this woman convinced me that there's no such thing as aliens, that it's all demons, right? I mean, she converted to Catholicism just to get herself out of that, because very powerful woman, very rich, and she was every night gonna jump off of her, jump out the window to end it, because she just could not get the thoughts out of her mind and the feelings out of her.
Is that after the ayahuasca?
Yeah, so she wasn't doing well post her life, the first 20 years, but the ayahuasca, she said it opened her up so wide to that world where she was hoping for healing that the wrong things came in. Right?
Yeah.
And she said it's not worth the risk. And she did the first two, and she said the wrong things came in. She went to the third one following a shaman who said, "Oh, we'll cleanse you of the wrong ones and you'll get your guardian angel in," and all this. And that did not work. It escalated everything so severely for her.
Like, yeah, when I used to do certain things, it would always turn me into like an exposed nerve, and it never suppressed. Like my friends, they'd be like suppressed. They'd be normal. I'm putting in quotes. They're just having a good time. It was never the case for me, despite it wouldn't make me stop. It took way too long to make me stop. But yeah, I had that issue. Obviously not as bad as the person you're talking about, but it would always make me like zero in on the craziest stuff and the darkest stuff. And at some point I was like, okay, this is not fun. I don't know why I'm doing this. I just need to stop. And that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you also have to be careful who you get help from, because she had all the money in the world, or she has all the money in the world. She's made it, right? You have to be careful who you get help from therapists, analysts, psychiatrists, whatever.
Yeah.
She had me sit down with her priest to talk about that, because she just needed like a whole group of people around her, because she was terrified. And the priest said something that's scared me ever since. Like, it made me take what I do seriously and the world real seriously, where he said, Christian psychoanalysts are well-trained Old Testament exorcists, where secular analysts are summoners of demons. I was like, oh,
Whoa.
Yeah, that does not feel good to hear that from a serious deacon.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
Right.
My goodness.
So
your recommendation is no on ayahuasca
But you
for
find
trauma.
basically you got to find careful help out there. It's like, how do you know? Because you go on whatever website and it's like everyone's like, these are my pronouns and I help you do breathing techniques. It's like, that's not gonna help, bro. I'll breathing technique myself to my grave.
Right.
It's like, you have to look. You're looking for a good therapist, analyst. You have to actually look for cat calls or dog whistles in their profiles, which is really difficult to until you know you don't see them, which is like the point, right? But
What are some of those that you can think of?
if they don't have pronouns in their profile, it's pretty easy. If they use terminology like aiming up or grace, every once in a while, grace could be taken by anyone, but aiming up is like a really good dog whistle. That's people who are more like on the enlightenment side, or maybe following Jordan Peterson, right?
Right.
Because he likes to say that word, but you have to be listening for those kind of things, right?
Okay.
Or they'll say different things like earn. They don't say anything like affirm, or they talk in anti-affirmation ways. That's how you
Real quick, I just want to shout out everyone who has just joined us from Timcast IRL. We are talking about people taking ayahuasca and if it's good for trauma. We had one caller previously calling in who has experienced some pretty terrible stuff and death, trauma, and is thinking about ayahuasca. I discourage that. And now our caller, real quick, you just want to just tell the people who just joined us who you are and what you do, and you're talking about your experience with people taking ayahuasca for trauma.
Yeah. Just talking about, I'm a psychoanalyst, been for about 15 years, and just talking about the experience I had with a client. So me walking with a client who went through severe traumas, ayahuasca, a thought alien abduction, and then how she got out of it, which it wasn't the psychoanalysis. I wish it was. It was really, she went to church. It was like an exorcism. I didn't understand it because that was just not my field or my experience. I was more in shock for a lot of stuff, right? But I was like, yeah, I gotta say, it wasn't even analysis that saved her, right? It was her in church that saved her.
Well, amen to that. Yeah. I'm all about that path. I think that's the only path we have at the end of the day.
It has to be a good place, because there were some, like I said, there was therapists, priests, analysts that she went to that she was out of their depth. What she was struggling with was way out of their depth. And like, fair enough, it's not everyone's game. I'm not good with working with people with, I don't know, phobias. Not my thing. I send them somewhere else, right? But yeah, just be careful who you let help and who you listen to and what you open yourself up to when you have wounds, because a lot of bad things out there are looking to get into your wounds all the time, at any time. They would love to destroy you.
Absolutely. And I could see these retreats being a way of just getting people all doped up and then stealing all their shit, you know? And they're like, hey, you don't even know. You're doped up on DMT for 4 days,
right.
you know?
Yeah, they'll take, and this is back to the soul murders. Like, it's not just a brainwashing. I said brainwashing is like level 2. That's just, you stop talking, you stop thinking, you have the brainwashing, then you go down to the soul murders. Like, man, it's really nefarious, right? It's just like, be careful, especially when we've been screwed. Like, I get it, right? I've been to the point where I was dying of cancer when one of my second kid was born. And I was in the hospital, and I was just like, man, I'm not gonna make it, and I was pissed. And like laying on my deathbed with she was 9 months pregnant then, born, and I was not, it's like, shit, I'm never gonna see my son or be able to raise him, and gonna leave my wife just a fucking widow. Right? So like, I get the ideas of wounds, and there's many wounds before.
Well, thank God you're here.
Yeah, for real. I don't know what the hell the cancer was about. That really pissed me off.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Well, thanks for calling in again, and we appreciate the advice there, and we'll hear from you again.
All right, y'all, take it easy.
You too.
Have a good night.
All right, everyone who just joined, as I said, ayahuasca, and I think they heard Iowa ska.
Not to be confused with Iowa ska.
Iowa ska, a great genre. It's
but probably just as bad as it sounds.
Slipknot with trombones, I imagine. Sounds kind of cool.
I don't know if it would be that good.
That sounds kind of cool. Yeah,
We're talking about Iowa here, Shane.
I like Iowa. B. Pat, thank you for that super chat. Why not take MDMA instead of hallucinogenic? I just say I'm not into any of it. But the chat's got all types of ideas for it, against it. It's demons. I do think drugs have the potential to open up a doorway that some people will not be able to close. So it's always something to consider.
No, Joey 311 is not from Iowa, but thank you.
And for those just joining, wondering why the guest is audio only, we are now in the call-in portion of our show. If you are new here and you want to call in, the link to call in is pinned in the chat on Rumble and YouTube. It's up there at the top or on the side, depending if you're a phone or laptop, computer, or a tin can with strings attached. But Brandon, let's get to another caller.
All right.
And Sinrai said he said Slipknot because it was the only band from Iowa he could think of. That's true. That's true.
Fair enough.
Yep. I can't think of another band from Iowa. I'm sure there's many. Can you?
Off the top of my head, no.
I'm sure there are. Probably a really good one.
You would think
too.
there has to be, right? I mean,
well, you get the next caller.
I don't think it's going to be anything like Jersey, where they're flooding with dope ass bands, post hardcore.
The Everly Brothers. Modern Life is War. It's a good band. I don't know many of those other bands though.
And
so
that's
not
it.
the only one that matters, guys.
And that's it.
Sorry.
Spin doctors at the Iowa State Fair, whatever the hell Deadpool said. We are going to go to Candy RK, who I believe was in here yesterday. No, it was 2 days ago. Slipping through time, man. But we didn't get to this caller, so. Quick rebuttal.
Let's do it.
And
that's not the only one that matters, guys. Hey.
Candy, you're on the show. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty good.
What's new? What do you got for us tonight?
Well, I keep trying to bring up one subject, but I'm not going to force you into it. But I do have an update about. Remember, I was the one that was the grandfather that was at Area 51.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did get to talk to him recently.
Awesome.
Someone else asked him about aliens, and I almost laughed because they said, "Do you believe in them?" And he said, "No." I said, "You asked him the wrong question."
Okay, let's hear more.
So the question you ask is, are aliens real? And almost every time that I've ever asked him that, he laughs, and he did it again.
Do you think that's because that's just the question in regard to like his position, and maybe he just laughs every time he hears it now, or do you think it's because he still refuses to, make with the info?
I think it's because of the info, because he's not allowed to talk about it still, even though everything's supposedly declassed. It's not.
What has he said anything about the jobs he would work on at all? Like, do you know anything about what he did there? Where?
How long do these
51 was?
NDAs last with this administration? Do we know how that works? Are these NDAs like 5 years and then whatever past that? Because I know some of that stuff, like marketing stuff like that. I heard we were talking to our one of our new guys here. He was suggesting that 5 days after, not 5 days, 5 years after his NDA, he was able to talk about stuff. And
I think it depends on each one. And with the Area 51 stuff, we know we did that story a few months ago, or maybe a few weeks ago. Time's not real. About the Area 51 guys who are getting sick from what they called an invisible enemy.
Right.
And they couldn't get help from the VA because all of their medical history was data masked. So it was like they never worked there. Like, yeah, it said it worked there, but they couldn't look and see that they were working with anything that would have made them sick. And there's 400 people who have died who worked at Area 51 on these special covert
And it was more than
things.
that. They were claiming that this had altered their DNA.
Literally.
Physically altered their DNA just being there.
The one guy said it gave his son a brain tumor. The other guy had a ton of cancers. They all were having like grapefruit-sized cancers. So, I mean, their NDAs, they're sort of breaking them. It seems like a little bit, because they're saying we can talk about one thing we worked on. It was some jet, but there were multiple things, and they were all hand-picked for these jobs. So that's going on right now. So, Candy, with your grandfather, do you know anything?
The only thing that he has ever actually talking about, and when you do talk about it, he kind of lights up a little bit, is the B2.
Interesting.
So that's the only thing he's ever said. He didn't even really say what he did on it. Engineering is basically what it is. You know what I mean? There's no like, this is what I did. It's we engineered it.
So when he laughs about our aliens real question, is it like a grandfather being funny kind of thing, or is it like I wish I could tell you I know some things that would blow your mind?
I honestly think it's both, but I also did tell him. I have a friend who currently works at Area 51 who like he can't even tell me if he uses tissues, Kleenex, whatever. You know what I mean? And I told him this, and then I told him what he says when I asked the question, and he also laughed at that.
Interesting.
So my friend, when I ask him, are aliens real? He says you wouldn't be impressed. So it depends on who he's talking to, whether or not they're going to take it a certain way.
You wouldn't be impressed. Now, what's your takeaway? What's your takeaway? Is this like we have subpar aliens in the tunnels of Area 51, or it's just Eric Swalwell this whole time?
Right. I honestly think that they're hinting at it without saying anything. Like, yes, what you probably believe is real, depending on what they know about what you believe. So I personally believe that there's aliens, but I've never witnessed anything, so I don't know.
I wonder if they would answer any questions about the recent UFO hearings. Like if they ever talked about it, you know?
He kind of brought up some of the stuff that's been going on lately, but not the hearings, but like the things that have been shown. And he watches like normal news, so.
Normal news.
You know what that means.
Yeah, yeah. The brainwashing news.
Exactly.
Well, that's interesting. So that's a development. I like that you have two people in your life that work at Area 51.
I used to know someone else, but I don't talk to them anymore. So,
Well, you should tell them that they have a place here at Inverted World Live where they can call anonymously, and they can change their voice with some fun technology, and we'd like to hear their stories.
my grandfather would not do that, but my friend might. But
Let 'em
with
know.
maybe a little bit of convincing.
Yeah, let them know. I'd like to hear what they think about Bob Lazar, what they think about Lockheed Martin, what they think about these
Lockheed,
new UFO hearings.
they wouldn't even talk about, but Bob Lazar, they might be like, whatever, you know.
Yeah, you're now personally responsible for finding us our first Area 51 whistleblower.
But
Congratulations.
However, no, that is wild. I'm gonna start dropping leaflets for Inverted World Live around Area 51, and
Right?
we'll see what happens. And that's how we get our first alien phone call.
We just get like a picture of you and just like tack it to like the
Yeah.
light poles out there with little pull offs with like
Yeah, make me look like
your
Uncle
Twitter
Sam
on it that just
Be
like
we need you.
worked at Area 51. Call
Yeah.
Shane Cashman, cash now. 877 cash now. Oh, there
good.
it's taken
That's it.
already.
Oh.
It's taken already.
Well, I mean, I wonder if they're aware of the Area 51 stories that are in the news right now about those people who are sick, and if that would get people to call or share their stories, or look, I'm not forcing you to do this, but the other option is to send an anonymous letter, and that opens it up for trolling. I know, but
Yeah.
Or just, try to illegally get a look at all of their medical records and see if they have any weird diseases that they're hiding.
yeah.
Or
I mean,
Candy, you could break into Area 51.
yeah, you could do that too.
You're not hearing that. from
We
me.
should second on the list, not
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
We'd leave it as the second.
have you ever spoken to anyone who has tried to do that?
No.
No. I
have
wish
a
I
story.
had. It's a question of whether we would ever speak to them again after that point too. So
Were you around
Well-
when that happened?
I didn't personally know the person at the time, but the two people that were involved are very reliable people.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
So, do you want me to tell it or no?
Yeah,
go for it.
of course.
And to make it clear,
that-
we are not telling anyone to break into Area 51. Okay,
No,
let's
that's-
just put
it's
that
the
to bed
worst
right
idea
now.
you
We
could
were
ever
dicking
think
her. It's
of.
not serious. All right, sorry. Go on.
But call us.
It's okay. It's literally the worst idea you could ever think of.
Just don't want people to think we're actually encouraging something like that because I already see it in the chat. It's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go on.
Where Area 51 is, like, even when you work there, you don't know where it is because they close the windows on the planes and the buses and everything that get you in there, right? So you have no idea. But there are, I don't even know how long, it could be a mile, it could be 3 miles, it could be 7 miles deep of like outer areas, right?
Yeah.
And my friend and his buddy decided they were going to go see how far they could go. And when they did this, they didn't realize the effect of how insanely important it is not to do that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these people that do this treat this like it's a trip to White Castle. And they're
Not
just
so
like,
much.
to hell with it. We're going to
hours.
drive 2 hours and get delicious cheeseburgers. And it's Area 51.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty good.
I love going out into the desert, but I know where not to go
Right.
Yeah.
and where you should go and stuff. So they decided they were going to do this. And it's not near where the Rachel entrance is, but it was the other one. And they just kind of went off the beaten path a little bit and they were in a truck. And once they got to a certain point, all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute. You see after a while, there's 5, 6, 7, there's dudes with binoculars. And then there's trucks coming up over bridges and you're like, what'd I do? They basically were like, if you don't turn around, we don't know what's going to happen. So they're like, all right, we're out. And they literally, you've seen stories probably on like YouTube or whatever, but they followed them for like 8 miles until they were far enough away to where they were like, we don't have to deal with you anymore.
Wow.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, that's, literal escorting you to the gate
Yep.
type situation.
Yep.
Right.
They don't want you seeing all that skunk work stuff.
But even
Invisible
like that,
jets.
remember the Storm Area 51 thing?
Of course.
That was so like ridiculous. And where they were is the like most famous gate that they went to.
Right.
And when you drive down that road and someone's already watching you before you even get to the road.
So like it was all for show. Or do you
Pretty
think
much.
do you think they realized that? Do you think they went there thinking we're really going to get in today because we trended on Twitter?
I mean, it depends on who you talk to, but some of them really were gung ho about it.
It seemed like it. And what about how did it end up with the fires out there? What was the final word on that?
The Area 51 fires
Yeah.
or the site fires,
The
they
area-
pretty
yeah.
much fizzled out eventually. I mean, again, like, why would we make such a big deal about it? Because it was only, almost 40,000 acres.
Right, right. Yeah, for those who are
And
just
then
now
they just
listening,
disappeared.
this summer on July, this is the official story. A bolt of lightning hit the desert and started a 40,000 acre fire around Area 51. They called the Gothic fires. And there's a lot of conspiracies spilling out of that story. And it also happened to, that story went in tandem randomly, or maybe not randomly, with the story I said earlier with these guys in the news saying they're sick from Area 51.
Yeah.
Was there any like local, like lore that people were saying, like they thought it was this or that with the fires?
No, not really. Ever since I can't remember who it was, the newscaster that used to do all the reporting out here, but he was big in with Lazar and like people in Area 51. Since him, nobody really talks about it.
Was it George Knapp?
Yes, that's it. I can never remember his name. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's on Coast to Coast. He was just at the UFO hearing 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that the dude that snubbed you?
It's Coast to Coast snubbed me, but not that George. It was George Norrie.
Oh, okay.
Norrie.
Different
Yeah,
George.
Yeah. But George Knapp is the one who testified that he believes Lockheed Martin is in possession of alien technology. It was really, they word it in certain ways, but that's what he was hinting at. But, well, Candy, pleasure to hear from you. We appreciate the phone call, and call us when you are behind the gates.
I mean, if that happens, I probably won't make it back, but I'll definitely call back if I get any updates.
Awesome. It'll be fun while it lasts.
Yeah, just change your name in Zoom to I'm in Area 51 right now in all caps, and I'll know to bring you on with priority.
Absolutely. We'll do video.
I will do that.
All right, Candy, thanks for calling in.
All right, thanks,
you.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, let's get to another caller. Thank you guys.
While we're go ahead and say your.
I was just gonna say thank you all for being here. Thank you all for sticking around and checking out the show. We're taking calls. If you have some story, we know in the beginning we talked about the simulation theory that I believe in, and all of the theories that are coming out of the Charlie Kirk assassination, and just how I'm still haunted by it. And we've had callers talk about ayahuasca, not Iowa ska, although that's fine too. But you can call about that stuff. You can call about a strange story you've experienced, cryptids, aliens, sleep demons, sleep paralysis, Bigfoot, you name it. We want to hear about it. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say thanks for hanging out as well. Like, comment, subscribe, share the show with everybody that you know. And I thought I had another thread going somewhere. Yeah, actually I did.
Good.
So really quick, we're at that kind of like let's breathe for a second moment of the show.
Yeah.
There was another, and I want to know if anyone saw this, Los Angeles area. There's another supposed metallic spacecraft spotted just cruising around over downtown Los Angeles. I haven't been able to debunk this one yet, as I just found it today, but I'm interested on your guys' take. So I'll blow this one up here because this is it's a portrait shot.
Also, if we can find it, there's a new jellyfish video that came out today I saw as well. Look at this thing. Come on now with this.
So I mean this.
Come on now.
In Destiny, this is basically one of the ships that the Cabal fly. It's called I think it's called a Thresher, if I'm not mistaken.
But
this is basically the exact same design as that ship.
But the sun hits it when it moves, so it must be real.
The first thing I did was try to look at the ground area too and see where the shadows are being cast. The lighting matches up, but it doesn't seem like it'd really be that hard to do that. I'm more about like how the ship is in focus, but nothing else is.
That's not real. This is so not real.
Yeah.
What does the tweet say? Was it a tweet?
It just says a strange metallic spacecraft spotted over downtown Los Angeles.
500,000 views.
Yeah. Again.
What is the first thing say? What are the comments saying?
This is. Hang on.
Oh wait, is that an?
No,
is
that's
that an
that's
ad?
good. Yeah, that's legit X. And somebody obviously grok tested it already. I'm thinking it's BS. Everybody's nodding to Star Wars with this. I think I'm the first one to nod to Destiny on this, but
Yeah.
I mean this goes back to the same thing that me and a lot of people say in the chats is why the hell would it just walk up in broad daylight in one of the most notarized cities in the country and just hang out flying, I'm right next to the US Bank building. Look at me. I'm a UFO. Don't mind me. I know you guys have never seen me before, but I'm here. What's up? I'll be back. Just making a trip to town.
I'm seeing a lot of fake and gay in the chat. I think they're right.
Fake gay.
Oh wait. Look, I'm trying not to curse, guys. So I'm going to say S-head circus. I'm really trying.
Shithead circus?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said it's Biden's brain.
You can swear vicariously through me.
I'm trying not to. I'll do that.
Just send.
That's fine.
Text
That's
me and I'll
fine.
swear for you. It's
That's
okay.
fine. But I do think, that could be Biden's brain. We're still looking for it. Biden's brain is a UFO. That reanimated corpse.
We're still looking for Biden.
Well,
He never came back. He just walked into the jungle and no one ever saw him again.
that was my favorite of the clones.
I'm pretty sure they had like an area set up back there because I saw another guy walk out of like where he went. I don't think he just walked into the rainforest.
No, dude.
Let's
released
preserve
him.
this place.
That was the most.
Let's take care of this place. It's beautiful.
That
And
clone
then-
behaved the best. That's why they released him into the Amazon. They said,
Get the hell out of
Bon
here!
voyage.
You really think that they would just let him go like that? Like, oh, it's fine. We got like
Yeah.
5 other ones. Just
Yeah.
that one did good. Let him go.
I've heard from I have a good source that says they're going to have a giant Biden bonfire at the 250th anniversary that Trump's throwing in Iowa, of all places.
Biden bonfire.
Yeah, because can you imagine how many clones they've had?
They're
for
gonna
that
burn all of Biden's clones.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm going just for that. I think it's gonna be great.
All right.
Yep.
You heard it here first.
Yep. Let's do another caller, shall we?
It's definitely going to save picks, or it didn't happen. Let's go to, let's see.
Agent X6 says Biden spends day and night eating little kids. I think he used to. I'm not sure if the clones are. They might be pumping him full
I was
of
going to say, I
adrenochrome.
don't know if he eats anything anymore. He's probably just intravenously fed.
Well, the last things he was eating, if it wasn't even a thing, was meth-laced ice cream. Like, we know that much, But sometimes it was just a deep fake. Sometimes it was a reanimated corpse. Sometimes it was a robot. It's really hard to say.
Oh, the whole term Biden deepfake just sounds disgusting. Let's go to Wally Gorbachev. Wally Gorbachev. This rolls off the tongue. Wally, you're on the show. Can you unmute your mic and say what's up?
Are you there?
Good evening, Mr. Gorbachev.
Where did you go? Yeah. I wonder what Biden's doing right now. It's crazy, All those Bidens are still out there.
You're not like,
Hey fellas, I'm here.
Wally, what's up?
Hey man,
What's up?
Welcome to the show.
awesome to talk to you. Hey Shane, really love to see you on Timcast. I didn't know about you before I saw you on Tim, but as soon as you started talking, I was like, oh, this guy rocks.
Well, it depends who you are. It really depends these days, but I appreciate it. What was it? Was it the moon or was it clouds?
Well, I like that you were a professor, like a repentant professor.
Yeah, those are some crazy days,
Crimes against humanity.
bro. Being a professor was like being in a concentration camp. It was
Holy shit.
Oh, come on. It's 11:30. It was really getting a good view of how deranged the cult is behind the enemy lines of a university. And they were not ashamed to say horrible things. And they were straight up with the kids. Those kids believed everything they said. I was a minority at both college campuses that I worked at. I thought I would be a professor my whole life, and I should have known better. And it was pretty obvious to me very early on that I was not welcome. Like in American History X, you're not welcome here. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, you rock. Thanks for opening up about Charlie. Anytime that we get to elevate that is important. But one thing that I heard, shout out to somebody, that we need to, like, as Christians, like, we can actually glory in Christ about this. We know that Charlie is singing with the angels with Christ, and it's okay to be happy. There is a time for mourning, and I still think we're in that.
Yeah.
But when I look to the future and I know that God has everything in control, I am excited, and I just want to tell people that, things will get better.
I think that's so important, and it's so true. And you just reminded me of something that Andrew Colvett said. He tweeted recently. Andrew, for those who don't know, is like Charlie's right-hand man. He's a really good guy. He was kind of like our go-to guy whenever we set up the AmFest stuff between Tim and everyone, but he tweeted this 2 days ago. And it's a picture of like a giant crowd with the tent. And he said, we called them campus tours, but they were tent revivals. And the people flocked to hear Charlie preach the truth to a whole new generation. It's all clear to me now. So kind of echoes what you're saying.
Yeah, and also one more thing before I let you go.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys are with crosstalk, but the lady who is considering to do an ayahuasca trip, I would recommend that you just ask the guy who was so graciously saying, hey, I'll go and make sure you're okay. You should probably just like see if he's interested in having a relationship and then have some kids, and that will be better.
Well, you're pro family here. I'm all into that. So, if any time we can make a family happen.
Well, that's where we get into the friend zone debate. Is he being kept in that area on purpose, or is he still trying to prove his worth by accompanying her to the ayahuasca trip?
Yeah, it could turn into some rom-com. We have yet to see.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, this dude's in love with you. Why the hell else would you go on an ayahuasca trip and just sit there and just watch everybody else get? I'm just gonna make sure you're good. Nobody does that. Like, come on, your best friend's not gonna do that as a guy. Come on.
Call in.
Love is in the air.
Yep. Well, I totally agree, and I love that sentiment, and I really appreciate you calling in and sharing those kind words.
All right, man. Hang in, pal. Love you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Have a
Wally.
great night. Oh, yeah. It is true. It's a hard thing to balance. The joy of knowing that a Christian brother is with the Lord, but the darkness of the world that we have to inherit in his absence. It is something else. But we shall get to another caller, and you guys out there can call in, tell us an alien story, ghost story. We can talk about Charlie still. I don't want to stop. I'm down for anything. It is Thursday. It is our last show of the week.
It is Thursday, indeed.
We will be back on Monday at 10 o'clock at night, Eastern time. God only knows what will happen over the weekend.
Hopefully not a damn thing.
I want nothing to happen.
I want to sleep this weekend.
Bro.
I've not been sleeping. It sucks.
It's really been tough.
It's just been weird.
Really tough.
It's just the mind not wanting to quiet thing. Like, I've been looking for escapes too, where I can find them. Video games, wherever the hell I can find them. Reading something, watching an old crazy. I watched a damn Harry Potter movie last night, this morning, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I watched Half-Blood Prince or whatever, and I was just like, I don't know why the hell I'm doing this, but it's taking me out of my mindset for a couple of hours, and I was able to fall asleep after that.
That's good. We watched The Truman Show, and that just made it worse.
That's like the third time we've referenced that movie in the last week, isn't it?
I said, Nancy, we're in it, because I was like, those drones we saw are watching us. It's just we're in a much bigger, more elaborate Truman Show.
We're in the Cashman show.
Yeah, No, I don't know about that. I don't think it's me at the center of this. I think it's all of us, and I think it's it's run by Palantir.
It's
Peter Thiel's
like everyone's
face
at the center of their own Truman Show.
Perhaps they've made it feel that way, but the surveillance state is the Truman Show, except they're not. I don't think they're creating all that stuff, and we don't have fake friends and family. But that is true, dude. I've been looking at this article from Newsweek from 2021 about the Pentagon's signature reduction army, 60,000 people that are paid to be influencers. They're influence campaigns. They're spies. It's wild. So
Dude.
It could be anybody.
No, well, I've also heard Russian propaganda is at an all-time high in the last 2 weeks too. That there's all kinds of shit just getting slipped into the works on top of that.
Netanyahu's talking about Qatari money again.
No, and this is it's hard not to believe that, because there's always with these guys. It's just kick them when they're down.
They're all doing it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone has a boogeyman. The problem is all the boogeymen are doing it at the same time. We are a boogeyman in this country. Mossad, Russia, China. I mean, no one's talking about France. They're not
Except
happy.
for, didn't France just issue a warning to U.S. militants, a safety warning or something about being in France? I gotta look that up.
I did see that recently. Yeah.
Let me see if I could find that really quick.
I mean, they're suing Candace. Brigitte Macron has to launch an OnlyFans to prove that Candace is wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's unbelievable times we're living in.
I've got to launch an OnlyFans.
Yeah, it's the only way to prove it. It's going to be all AI.
I heard one of my
break
ex-girlfriends
it
say
to
that
you.
one time, and I was like, oh, really? I've got
Don't
to
do
move
it.
to West Virginia.
Don't.
I am getting the hell out of here.
This is when I leave.
New security alert for Americans in France. So not troops, but actual Americans in France, warning of
Okay.
possibility of violent clashes amid protests. Strikes and protests are taking place across France. Well, heads up, France. We've got that here already. And we've had it for
Sure
a little
do.
bit. So,
Sure do.
it'll be just like being at home for us, I guess. So,
Yeah.
but Americans, watch your backs in France.
Let's get to a caller. If you got anyone lined up.
We got a bunch of people in here still.
All right, let's do it.
Let me just make sure there's nobody in here that I left out in the last couple of shows because I want to try to get them on. if
Someone's
possible.
calling you out saying, Brandon, find a wife. He just got done telling you guys that the last one wanted OnlyFans. That's why he went to West Virginia.
No, that's not at all what happened. Thankfully, that would have been real fucked up. But I'm good on the wife thing. But thank you for the concern. We're gonna go to Nate Boston. Nate Boston.
Ooh, someone. Darth. What's your name?
Radio. Can you guys hear me?
Dark City.
Yeah,
Good
Nate,
movie.
what's up? Welcome to the show. If you can, mute the stream in the background. We're getting
Yeah,
that
my
picked
bad.
up.
Sorry about that.
You're all good.
So I have two things. One, everybody's been talking about the ayahuasca DMT thing. I was in college back in 2012, 2013. And I, hang on a second.
You're good.
Can you guys still hear me? I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
got a bad
Yeah.
delay.
Yeah, you're good.
My bad. I did DMT when I was in college. It was my first hallucinogen. I did it with a trusted person who I had met at the time, who I had built a great friendship with. And I would argue that my ignorance to hallucinogens was the most important thing to that trip. I was not lost and not looking for anything, just wanting to do a trip, and ended up cleaning myself up. It was weird. I came out of that trip not wanting to drink alcohol, not wanting to smoke cigarettes, not wanting to be a negative person. But I don't think it was because of the DMT.
What do you think it was?
The fact that I had a religious grounding my entire adolescent. I was in a
So-
private religious school until I was in the third grade, and my parents put me in public school. And when I came out of that, all I could do was think. All I could do was be in my head. I was in my head for a week after that. And when I came out of it, I came to the conclusion that I had spoken to something. Thing is kind of what came to my mind, and that's kind of what wigged me out a little bit. And the more and more I thought about it, the more and more it was just I kept telling a lot of people it was me talking to my own consciousness, my own vision of the truth, kind of how I would see myself in that metaphysical plane. But I don't think that's what it was.
So-
I do think that it's demonic.
So you think it's because you had that foundation with religion, and then you had this experience that the foundation helped you come through this as you confronted the darkness.
I think the foundation helped me keep an open mind to the fact that there's good and bad in the world. So when you're in that plane of nothing, where your ego doesn't exist,
Yeah.
you ebb and flow. And so in that ebb and flow, you come out of it, and it's either, I've noticed this with people, it goes one of two ways. It's, I love that, I want to do that again, I need to find that truth again, I need to get back to that. Or it's, I'm good, I found what I need, I'm done. It's very weird. It's very
Yeah,
strange.
and it's it's always different for everybody. I think it really does depend on the mindset you're in as you're going into this stuff. And you had your background, and what'd you say, your ignorance to it as you went in?
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
I had only smoked marijuana, and I was a completely sober person until I was 17 years old. And so I had worked 2 jobs, I had money, I did my own thing. My parents were super trusting of me, and I would say I abused that trust just a little bit, but nothing crazy.
Right.
And in the end, I had texted the person I would refer to as my guru, the person who introduced me to weed, who taught me what drugs were, who taught me that, you're still a normal person. You're not a bad person, this, that, and a third. I said, I think I'm going to do DMT. And his exact message back to me was, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, yeah, like, what's the big deal? Like, I was thinking it was going to be like acid, or it was like
Right.
going to be like mushrooms. Like, I had no idea I was going to go, how I would describe it, literally to another plane of existence. So I think that like DMT shocked me into the reality that like the planar levels of the world exist. And so if the planar levels of the world exist, it's time to look into your grounding. And my grounding was in religion. And then so I want to bleed that into the next thing that I have here. I'm trying not to take up too much time. I live in a small town in Ohio. Shouts to Ian Crossland, buddy. Small town Ohio boy right here also.
Sweet.
And I'm about an hour from Wright Pat Air Force Base.
Oh yeah, nice.
So, Wright Pat Air Force Base, when I was first starting smoking weed, it's funny how this all kind of like plays into each other. When we first started smoking weed, we would have to get out of the house with all of our buddies and we would just go to the cornfield. You could drive into one of the spouts of the cornfield, you kind of hide out there and you'd be fine. And one night we were smoking weed and we had just started, had the circle going. We, getting everything going, and we're down to the last person. Last person is about to hit the bong, and we're all trying to get him to go. He didn't really want to smoke. We're kind of egging him on, and he sparks the lighter, and he looks up, and he says, he looks up and goes, "What's that?" And we all turn and we look into the sky, and we see this solar orange light, and I would describe it as exactly that, like a solar orange, and it has that like fuzzy ball sort of look, the way the street lights do at 4 or 5 a.m. when you've been up all night. And 1, 2, 3, they just like that. We saw the first one, then the second one popped, then the third one popped in a triangle formation. We all just lost it. I mean, literally. I mean, we just lost it. We're like, we all knew innately that was not a normal occurrence. And then they went out the moment we noticed. And as they went out, we all just kind of like, we sat there and we were like, what? Like we couldn't really even talk. Like we didn't know what happened. And then again, the same 3, pow, pow, pow. And then what was really weird was 2 more, bap, bap, right above.
Same pattern as the first time.
So the same triangle pattern is the first time with a horizontal line above. So the tip of the tip of the triangle is right below the middle of the horizontal line. Essentially, like if you're constellating it out. And we shit ourselves collectively, hopped into the cars that we had, and it was two groups. And one group ran, and I was in the group that I was like, go towards it, like find a road towards it, see if you can see it again. And we drove for about 12 minutes, I'd say. Like, I mean, we were looking at the clock, we were looking at everything because we were afraid. At this point, we were convinced that we had avoided being abducted. I am convinced to this day that I avoided being abducted. And the reason I'm convinced of that is because we were all smacked. We were all in a state of unity and being happy and smoking together and whatever. It was just one person, that one person. And it was the moment that lighter flicked, man, it was like they got a little antsy. I mean, it was like they got fucking antsy. I know this sounds absolutely fucking crazy. Like I completely understand that. And this was back when like swag weed was a thing. We weren't smoking like, this weed that everybody smokes now. We weren't dabbing up and stuff like that.
A bag of seeds.
Yeah, I mean, small town Ohio, you're not getting, you're not getting the greatest of the great or anything.
I can smell the seed popping in the blunt.
Pulling the stems out of the ashtray and packing them up.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly right. And so we all talk about it to this day. I still have this group of friends. We all, we game together, and it's a constant revisited conversation. I lived in Dayton for 10 years, and during that time, I would skywatch every night. And every once in a while, I feel like you would just notice things. You'd see lights that you don't recognize. You'd see things go in and out, just very strange things. Also, something I can say is I've lived in 3 different cities. Dayton, Ohio has some of the most poisonous people I've ever met in my entire life. And I am convinced that whatever is happening at that airport, at that Air Force base, has something to do with it.
Something's wrong with Ohio. I love Ohio.
I do too. But
There's something
wrong
strange
with Ohio.
in Ohio. I mean, I did that whole demon hunter story there where we were catching pedophiles with Alex
Yes.
Rosen. And Alex is like, Alex travels the country. He's in every state catching demons. And when we were in Ohio, he was like, this is the worst state. I'm like, what? I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. We could have just done 72 hours nonstop of catching evil people.
It's
nuts.
It's utterly insane out here, and I don't say it like it's like an unseen thing, because I don't feel like it's a very unseen thing. I feel like people understand what Ohio is, but like when you experience it, you see the way that some of this poverty works. When you see the way some of these school systems work, when you see just the way it's almost like, because we're a red swing state, people just assume we've got our shit together. And our small towns, dude, it's utterly insane. And I mean, I'm 30 minutes from Chillicothe, Ohio. We deal with these abductions of all the girls. We've got the family that was executed, cartel style out in Hamilton, Ohio.
Dude, you had East Palestine.
We have East Palestine. We have the incredible heroin overdoses in Fairborn, Ohio. And I mean, we have issue after issue after issue after issue. And it's weird, man. It's weird. And just the last thing I'll leave you guys with, something just to think about with Right Pat. Every year, consistently, every year, you'd get 1, 2, maybe 3 days out of the year where it would be perfect weather, no problems at all, no nothing. And you would get on State Route 4, and the moment you come around the bend and go over the bridge, right where the golf course is, the thickest fog you've ever experienced in your life.
Weird.
And I mean, you'd hit the railroad tracks at the end, go over right into Fairborn, it just disappeared.
Well, they call Right Pat Area 51, right? Like of Ohio.
Yes, it's legitimate. It's not a joke. They have that place locked down tight. I've had friends that have accidentally driven onto the base because the exits are a little funky, and they get hassled. Not just turn around. It's a, hey, hop out of we got to check you. We got to make, and then they turn people around.
Yeah, I think it's weird. It's underrated how bizarre that place is. Everyone thinks about Area 51, but that place has a lot of strange stories. There's stories about alien entities being there, a lot of it, UFO sightings. So, and that's recently and over the decades. So.
And I would think too that the more that they mess with you too in a situation like that, the less inclined you are to return to that area, knowing how much shit you're going to take for being there.
100%.
Yeah, it's everybody when I first moved there was like, hey, make sure you don't end up on the base. Stay away from base cops. Make sure your lights are good. Make sure your signals are good.
Yeah.
Don't
give them a reason.
Don't screw around. Don't give them a reason.
Awesome, dude. Thank you for sharing the stories.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. And anything else goes down, give us a call.
Oh yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great night.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ohio. I mean, great bands from Ohio. Lots of great bands from Ohio. Cloud Nothings is a band I love.
Lots of terrible highways in Ohio.
Lots of terrible highways.
Your
Nine Inch
totally
Nails
pisses me off.
9 Inch Nails came from there.
Pennsylvania too. You guys are
Marilyn Manson
driving me
was from
nuts.
there. And a band I love a ton, From a Second Story Window. Great band.
Oh yeah.
And I had their guitar player on this show a year ago now. Paul Misko. Great episode. And he's got a great podcast too. Everyone should check out Paul's podcast. I love his Riff Tacos. If you just want to hear about people playing metal and playing shows, tune into Riff Tacos. He was a great guest. But let's try to get another caller before the end of the night here.
Yeah. Ohio was actually the last place I ever played a show. Now that I'm thinking about that, it was Cleveland. Cleveland House of Blues. Last place I played. I don't know if I'll play again. We'll see. If not, that's where the career ends.
Who'd you open for?
Ah, shit.
Or were you headlining?
No. We were direct support for a touring band. I can't remember who the hell it was now.
How dare you?
I have to look it up. They were a foreign band. I can't remember if they were like Swedish or something like that, but I got to look it up because it's not. That wasn't necessarily my jam, their sound, but they were really good live.
Speaking of, the singer of At the Gates passed away the other day. That was a bummer.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, great band.
Okay, so I did overlook one person who's on my list here, which my bad, but we'll bring him on now. This is Stephen Wolf.
Oh, good. I was just going to read that super chat. So there you go. Stephen Wolf was in the chat.
Stephen, what's up?
Alrighty, how you guys doing? You can hear me?
We can.
Yes, we can.
Alrighty, thank God. I've been calling for the last week and a half, 2 weeks since I got on the last time, and wanted to call in about the whole incident with Charlie Kirk. Last year, I was a delegate to the RNC from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I know what you're talking about with Ohio being kind of crazy, because I've been through Ohio a couple times, and it's a crazy state. But anyway, I was a delegate last year. I was elected in a race with 8 people in 12 counties, running for 3 delegate seats in my congressional district, and I had 30,710 votes, and I went to Milwaukee. Had to raise 10 grand to go there, but I went, and then when I was there, I didn't get to talk to Charlie Kirk, but I got to encounter him like a couple times, and we crossed paths on the floor of the convention there at the Pfizer Forum, and when we crossed paths, we gave each other a fist bump, and just exchanged smiles, and we were both on our way. It's sad to him. I saw 3 videos, 3 horrific, gruesome, horrifying videos of him taking that bullet, and like I regret watching those videos, and it hits you like a train. It really does. It hits you like a freaking Mack truck.
Yeah, it's awful. It's just it's like something an image that shouldn't exist.
What happened to him should have never happened.
Not at all.
That should never. And it's a black guy in our country, and last week's kind of been a bit of a roller coaster, emotional roller coaster, to say the least, for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
I had some ups and downs last week. I mean, the one really big up that came after that was Friday. My brother's wife gave birth to twins.
Oh man, congrats.
Well, she had to go in for emergency C-section. So
Everyone okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, baby.
Great.
So I have twin nephews now.
Incredible.
Leon and Harrison.
Awesome.
And they're both good. The mom's good. She had to get a blood transfusion because she was hemorrhaging pretty good during the C-section. But other than that, everybody's good and everybody's home. And but like I said, with the Charlie thing, that whole situation sucks, and we have some really big shoes to fill. So we, as a movement, we definitely need to get our shit together, and we need to call out evil when we see evil, because evil does exist, and we need to call it out.
100%.
There's no reason for us to sit back and with our sitting on the fence and putting our finger in the air and see which way the wind's going to blow. There's no time for that shit no more.
No,
it's time that we take action, but we need to take action in a responsible way, and it needs to be motivated by a sense of action that needs to happen. I'll tell you what, they need to open up these insane asylums again.
Yes.
And the government needs to do what the government needs to do. And what I'm saying, what they need to do is they need to put the crazy people back in the insane asylums. Like, Trump and Republicans have power right now. It's like, okay, you have to use this power to do this and this, because if we don't, these people are going to be out in the loose. And these ones that are celebrating stuff, they're disgusting. But I'll tell you this, I saw a video, Jesse Waters was saying, these people, if they want to be invited ever back into polite society, they need to repent their political sins, and they need to seek forgiveness and beg for forgiveness, because we don't have time to have them in polite society if they're not going to do that. If they're not going to get their stuff right and everything, we don't have to deal with that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's part why I had to leave New York. I was surrounded by demons. Obviously, I have a few friends up there still, and some family, and I love them, but
Yeah.
I unfortunately couldn't raise a family in an area where I just watched during 2020 people I thought were friends and family and neighbors celebrating the death of anyone that they thought was wrong politically. So it's
Well,
like,
yeah, you remember when they said, "Oh yeah, if you don't get the vax, you should die," and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. And,
yeah,
and you had people like Arnold Schwarzenegger saying "fuck your freedom," and you had Howard
but now we have to be strong and swift.
Jimmy Kimmel. He said, "Oh yeah, you don't get if you're anti-vaxxer, you don't get a bed. Sorry, you die."
Yep.
Like these people want us dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're very,
And those people need to be looked at like somebody needs to take a good look at them and be like, okay, if you guys can't behave yourselves in civil society, you're not going to be in civil society.
I don't even know if we have a civil society right now. We have to rebuild it. We have to rebuild it.
I think we do have to rebuild it.
That's the problem.
I think part of it's going to be us bringing back the insane asylums. Because,
well, I'm with you on that.
Like, you can't have these people thinking they can just chop off their dicks and think they're another gender or some shit. That doesn't fucking work.
And not just that, the murderers who are let out, like psychotic murderers. Like we can't forget about Irina and what happened to her on the train in North Carolina. That guy was arrested 14 times.
Right.
Why is that allowed?
And here he is back out again and again and again. These judges, these panty-waist judges just fucking slap him on the wrist and let him back out in the fucking town and tear everything up and kill a bunch of people and shit. And that's what they fucking want. They want chaos.
Well,
they want to keep the chaos fucking going.
We are quite literally in the Batman part of the comic where they release all of Arkham. Because I remember the beginning of COVID in New York, they were just releasing prisoners out of fear of COVID.
And you know what? They were doing it down here in PA too. Not as much, but they were still doing it in fucking PA, and they were doing it in other fucking places still.
And I guarantee they track those people, these bad people in the government, and they find a way to use them and for who knows what, some sort of coordinated violence. But they become like foot soldiers, psychotic foot soldiers for the death cult. And they're out there. I mean, there's a lot of recidivism, like there usually is, but there was a lot of people who are going right back to jail for murder. Like, why would you think you need to keep them safe from COVID by putting them back in our world?
Back in society.
Who thought that was a good idea? I mean, I know who thought it was a good idea. It's the same type of governor who thought it was a good idea to put sick people in nursing homes.
Yeah. Well, your governor, up there, Cuomo, he did that, and so did Tom Wolf.
Yeah, there was another one too.
I tell people when I introduce myself, I'm like, when I tell people that my last name's Wolf, I tell them it's Wolf with an E. I'm not the former governor.
Got to make that
distinction.
Because
our former governor was so horrible. He fucking lied like hell, and he did horrible things when he locked us down, and that should have never been allowed to fucking happen.
Oh man, we're still dealing with the consequences of that.
We are, and nobody ever. And you know what? Charlie Kirk was on a broadcast not too long ago, about a month ago. And he says this is one liberal. He's like, "Hey, we were never apologized to. Us young kids and stuff, people during COVID. Like, I'm a millennial. Okay,
they robbed them of their innocence.
Even the Gen Xers and you have Generation Z and whatever. These younger kids, they were told to fucking shut down their lives.
Yep.
Stay inside and not go nowhere and not go to school and not go to church and not be able to go to a fucking restaurant.
Unless you want to burn down the city. If you want to burn down the city, by all means, our governor will join you in the streets. Our mayors will be baptized in the smoke of the riots. But anything else, we will arrest you.
Yeah, Tom Wolf was out there fucking marching in a protest with Black Lives Matter and shit.
Yeah, it was insane.
And it's like right in the middle of COVID. But if you go leave your house to go to work or try to go to church or try to open up your small business, oh no, you're a bad person. But you can go to fucking Wally World all day long, and you can go to fucking Best Buy and everywhere else. That's a big box store. You can buy from them, but you can't buy from little mom and pops. No, you got to put them out.
Shut it down. Yep.
They got to shut it down. They want to shut it down. They're so horrible. They said never been allowed to do it. And I'll tell you what, they tried it again. We're not going to do it again. We're not going to play these fucking games. These people are fucking evil, and they're hurting our country. They're doing it again, and now they want to fucking have a war in this country, and we can't have that. Let that happen.
It's always good to hear from you, Mr. President. We appreciate.
You better believe it, Shane. You're doing a great job, Brandon. You're doing fantastic as well.
Thanks, man.
And I really wanted to call in on Tuesday because we had Ian. We had Ian Crossland. What a great guy. He's a character, isn't he? He's a bit of a character, but we like him. He's all right.
I'll do my best to get you on with him next time he's on the show.
Yeah, I'd like to be in the room with Ian. It's been a while since I've had him on the show with me. So.
Oh, you got to come to work for that, Shane.
That other Trump impersonator that called in after I did the other week, he was really good too. I'm not gonna fucking lie. He was on top of his shit too.
Nice.
You should come back and we should both go on the show and have a not rap battle, but we should do like an impersonation battle or something.
Yes.
I think I can do it.
Good idea.
I'll be honest with you. I think I can do it better than Shane Gillis, to be honest with you. I've been doing this shit for the last like 3 or 4 years. I've been going to Trump rallies since 2016, and I just started picking up on this shit. And last couple of years, I'm like, I'd listen to Trump speak or something, and I'd just be like, I'd say it the way he says it, and like, I just fell into it, and that's what I've been doing.
Well, if the other Trump impersonator out there is listening, maybe we can set up some sort of Trump versus Trump interview. We can talk about UFOs and all sorts of strange stuff in the world.
That UFO that they shot that missile out of China, that was made by Timu. that UFO was built by Timu, believe me.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah. So other Trump out there, give us a call. We'll coordinate some Trump on Trump talk. That'd be great. Well, always good. Always good hearing from you, sir. And we will talk again.
Thanks for calling, Stephen.
Yep. Take care. God bless, and make America great again.
Have a good night.
Amen. Yep. Incredible. So glad to be back in the room. It's a pleasure to see everybody tonight. I'm feeling like myself again, despite just trying to get through it all.
Despite being an imposter that came from the basement, I don't know who you are.
I saw someone say, I do have my glasses. They're here.
Yeah, you can magically see.
They're here.
You can magically see for 2 hours. I call bullshit. Yeah. This isn't Shane.
I'm not looking. I can't really see that well, but these glasses are already falling apart. This is what I get. I can only afford gas station glasses. So I'll get better ones at some point. Well, Brandon, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, man. You guys can find me, as usual, at Brando Inverted on Insta and on X. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for everyone's support on Tuesday. I needed it. Thank you for being here with us. Thanks for all the kind wishes yesterday for me and Shane. And it's good to be back. We will see you guys on Monday. Make sure to stay extra weird over the weekend. Hopefully nothing fucking happens this weekend. Peace and quiet. That's all I wish for everybody this weekend. Peace and fucking quiet. Mm-hmm. And we will see you on Monday. Shane, get us out of here.
I believe Charlie's funeral is this weekend, so we'll be praying for his family and his friends and everyone over there. Really appreciate you guys tuning in this week. This was a heavy week for everybody, for all of us. So it was great to be able to hear from so many people last week and this week while we're trying to just process this image in our head that should not exist of Charlie. But it's been good hearing from you guys. And I, again, want to thank Ian and Brandon for holding down the show on Tuesday. We'll be back on Monday. God bless you all. Have a great weekend.